Okay, now for the commentary of Disney versus non-Disney villains, Part 3, Round 1C, which is a remake version, since I kind of think the one I did on this one was kind of a mess in my opinion, so I just thought I'd do a remake on this one. So let's get this going. So we start off with a prologue. We see Cutler Beckett along with the East Indian Trading Company. That music theme sounds like from Dante's Inferno. Sounds like it. So Cutler Beckett is with his alliances, and he's meet with the Sheriff of Nottingham. So that character's supposed to be Bezzy. And he's supposed to be his new Sheriff of Nottingham. And when I look him up, he is from Robin Hood, the BBC's Robin Hood. So we got two versions of Robin Hood in the live-action universe. One from the movie Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and this one, BBC's Robin Hood? Okay. Didn't think there would have to be two versions of Robin Hood in this universe. I mean, is there something that makes BBC's Robin Hood a lot different compared to the traditional Robin Hood stories? I mean, he still robs the rich and gives to the poor, kind of thing. But is there something that makes it completely different from the other ones? I'm just asking. And we see Cutler Beckett's new members of the alliances, Regina from Once Upon a Time. I like that in this series she's not the live action form for Queen Grimhilda, since it's before the fall, it's kind of established that Queen Regina and Queen Grimhilda are two separate characters. Which is fine, because if you watch Once Upon a Time, the characters from Once Upon a Time are very, very, very different compared to the original Disney characters. And Morgana Pendragon from BBC's Merlin. That is my favorite show. So I'll leave the link down below if you guys have never seen it. Well, to review, that is. Then we see King George and Sir Guy of Gisborne. Guess he's also from BBC's Robin Hood.
Sorry I'm late.
So, they all seek the One Ring. Really? And then we see in Mordu, Sauron's spirit is preparing his alliances. Although in Lord of the Rings, we usually see him as like a ghostly, demonic lizard thingy eye that's on the tower. But in The Hobbit, we see him actually do something other than just being like, that. But on the tower, he's basically a ghostly spirit. Yeah. So I guess they're all preparing for another war, I guess. Okay, now we go over the first fight. Rumpelstiltskin versus Saruman. So, we see Rumpelstiltskin and his son just hiking in the forest. But, unknown to them, they're being tracked down by the Uruk Eye, led by Lute. Hold on. Aw, you wouldn't shoot that kid, would ya? Oh, Rumpelstiltskin saves the day. Of course he would block that sword. Ugh. Oh, chop his own head! I guess he's like, hey, you looking for this, Daddy? Since, of course, they probably have to track them down, because they are the ones that hold the One Ring. Okay, even though it's just the footage of him just holding a regular ring with a diamond on it, but let's just say he actually is holding the One Ring, and he just added a diamond on there just to like, just to make it look Rumpelstiltskin being Rumpelstiltskin, just pulling up, just oh, I just thought I put a diamond on top of it just to make it look pretty. Don't you think it is so dirty? Just whatever. Oh, scratch him, but yet he heals himself. Huh. And it looks like Saruman has opened the portal, and it's dragging his son Balefire. Yeah, even though this is just a scene from the episode where Balefire was gonna go, I think he's made a deal with someone about going to a new world where they can start a new life, but he just acts all cowardly. Just doesn't want to lose him, but yeah. But in here, it's just Saruman just opens the portal and makes him lose his son. That's sad. Okay, now for the next fight is Regina versus Lord Voldemort. Now that sounds interesting and cool. And no, your guys are not. This isn't a joke. This is not something to fool you. This is an actual footage from the Hunger Games. That is President Snow. Yeah, we got the Hunger Games in. So we see President Snow was about to give a speech. And look, Regina is here, because she's double dipping. Working along with Lord Cutler Beckhead while also working with President Snow, I believe. Until President Snow's speech has been interrupted by the attack by the Death Eaters, led by Lord Voldemort. Oh, about to attack the human race already, I see. Yep, we get the scene where they just twist at a bridge and destroying it. Okay, now cool. A fight against that really cool evil queen against the Dark Lord Voldemort, the he who should not be named. The lover of all reptiles. Well, snakes, mostly. And just threw her into the clock tower. But it looks like President Snow has called in the army. And he's out of here. And okay, even though this is just the footage of the... It's supposed to add the... It was just only for the footage of Voldemort disappearing, getting out of here. And even though it's just an editing error, like with the kids just shooting at the Death Eaters, but let's just say these are just the guards using machine guns, which actually popped into my mind. Like, imagine if Hogwarts actually used Tommy guns against Death Eaters. Can anyone imagine that? Using Tommy guns during the final battle? So, yeah. Now for the epilogue. And also, that theme of the epilogue is the music from Code Geass, just letting you guys know. So we see that Skeletor has introduced himself. And, hold on, we get this. So, yeah, now they're teaming up. So basically, it's like, well, if you guys heard what Vlog says, like, okay, we'll work together, but do remember who's in charge, okay, pal? And he's like, why, of course, Your Majesty. And now they're off to find the Crystal of Darkness. And then we see that after the disposal of the Wizard of Wonderland, and he's possibly dead, by the Stepmothers 3, they have brought back a certain ruler of Wonderland, the Queen of Hearts. I thought she might have been dead got killed by Darla Dimple, having her head be chopped off, off screen, but she's probably been stuck in the dungeon. Huh. interesting that the Queen of Hearts is back, and she went from being a minor player to now a secondary player. Interesting. Okay, that's the thing I don't like in the House of Mouse, because with them just clapping, but look how they stand. It's like they're not even alive. But the only thing that are alive are their hands. Ugh. Hold on. But it looks like tensions grow between Queen Narissa and the Queen of Hearts. And Lady Tremaine, just being Lady Tremaine, just tells them not to fight. You know, like, stop your bickering, ladies. We have some war to do. And then we see in Camelot, we see Ruber, Rasputin, and Azula have, returned to Camelot, to reestablish the power base. So Ruber has to return to Camelot just to make the power base. So that way they can make plans for, for the war, that is. Since there's no war anymore, it's because of Shan Yu. Hold on. And it seems like Lord Malice has returned to Ruber's allies. Because he somehow knew that Rasputin and Ruber are back. And they're with Azula. Hold on. And then we see what it says in the description is that Facilier, growing tired of Hades and Ursula, decides to return to New Orleans, return to his voodoo emporium, and Lawrence. Interesting that Lawrence is now his own character rather than, like in Disney Villains War, that Hoagie was his form for the animated role. But in this one, Hoagie and Lawrence are two separate characters, just like Regina and Grimhilda in this series. And I guess that, not only that, even Dr. Facilier and Dr. Terminus are now two separate characters. Which is fine, of course. And then we see in the CGI realm, we see Cadas is meet up with his mysterious boss, that is Malthazar. About time we see him. Who gives him that mysterious box. Which, of course, is, when they open it, Rothbard is back as a ghost.
No more, Mr. Nice Guy. No siree.
Yep. And then we see at this castle, which is actually the old mansion, sorry, so is that Oogie Boogie introduces Maleficent to a certain group that brought him back to life. Really? Now, hold on.
Now, my dear police, allow me to introduce you to my associates that put me back together again.
We never did learn how Oogie Boogie got, back from his, supposed death from Other Mother. But now we actually get a reveal. Turns out Diz, and even though it's supposed to be Riku, but it's probably someone else. So those two brought Oogie Boogie back together? Interesting. Not only them, but also Lock, Chalk, and Barrel. Marluxia and Larxene and Luxord. Interesting. And what I believe says in the description is that Maleficent also decides that she needs a valet in this new world. New valet, huh? But she resurrects someone, and that is Mother Gothel. Hey! Interesting. Went from a minor player to a secondary or major player. Now that is cool. So I think I'm going to stop right here. So see you guys in the next part of this commentary.